Now at 9, a major gas leak in Joplin shuts down streets and evacuates one home. Pittsburgh Public Schools offer free meals to all students this fall, helping families save big on breakfast and lunch.
Dramatic video shows the moment floodwaters took down an apartment building in West Virginia as residents managed to escape. I'm Asher Red in Fairmont, West Virginia, and I'll have the details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Strong and potentially severe storms have already started moving through the 4 states. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach, and this Tuesday is an alert day for the Skywatch Weather Center. And let's go straight to Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty for a first look at what's happening now.
Yeah, we've had a lot of scattered thunderstorms through the afternoon into the evening hours, but it's really going to ramp up from this point on. We have a couple big clusters of showers and thunderstorms across Kansas and Oklahoma. Missouri, Arkansas has been fine. You guys are going to stay dry for the next several hours. Thunderstorms really picking up, big cluster right along the Kansas-Oklahoma state line. A little bit weaker, lower severe chances from Fredonia over toward Lamar points north, but higher chances point south. This complex will continue to slide east, southeast through northeastern Oklahoma over the next several hours. Main threat here is going to be gusty winds, 60 upwards to 70 miles per hour as it gets into Craig County, Nowata County, Craig County, and eventually into Ottawa and also Delaware County. Then right behind it, this will be our last punch, and this could be the big wind maker that pushes through the region, especially late. We're talking midnight to about 2 a.m. So watch these storms continue to work through. That last batch, here's midnight, driving east, and we'll have the potential for 60, 70, maybe 75 mile per hour winds with some of those storms. Of course, I'm going to break this down here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, this afternoon, Joplin crews responded to a significant gas leak after a construction contractor hit a gas line near the intersection of Chris Lane and Connecticut, just north of 17th Street. Spire gas crews turned off the gas and worked to repair the leak. Joplin police closed Connecticut from 15th to 20th Street as a precaution, while firefighters checked natural gas levels in about 100 homes in the area.
So there was gas that was getting its way into the wastewater sewer system, and that was part of the reason why we were checking these houses, was to make sure that natural gas was not leaking through the sewer lines to get into homes.
Now, one home was evacuated due to gas blowing in through open windows. Those residents have since been cleared to return. Officials report no injuries related to the gas leak. Well, if you have a student attending a USD 250 school in Pittsburgh, you won't have to worry about feeding them during school hours next fall. The district has joined a federally funded program called Community Eligibility Provision. As KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, this program will help nourish students' bodies while nourishing their minds.
Having my daughter be at school is very exciting, knowing that I'll get to see her.
Natalie Vanderbilt is a math and reading teacher at Lakeside Elementary in Pittsburgh. Her daughter will be in kindergarten this fall, and one thing she doesn't have to worry about is preparing breakfast before she leaves.
Really excited for my daughter to have an opportunity to know that every day she'll be getting a breakfast and lunch.
And she's not the only one who gets these free meals starting the coming school year. All kids in the district will be eligible to receive free meals on school days. Before, Pacific students had to meet certain criteria to be eligible for free meals. But according to the Director of Nutrition, the new program is here to break stereotypes.
It removes the barriers for food. It doesn't matter what the family income is. They will be able to have a breakfast, a lunch, and a snack.
Warren says she has faith in this program. She says she hears this from the ones who know most, the teachers.
They have seen better behavior, they have seen more participation, they've seen better academic scores. It's just good for everyone.
Most of all, it's going to save parents lots of time and, of course, money.
Knowing that that's not something that we're going to be responsible at home, that I can get her prepared, and that at school it's another part of the school day. We'll be going to school, get that good meal, and then start the day.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
The CEP starts this fall, and faculty are currently working on ways to make the process run smoother. Well, Thanksgiving tradition in Joplin enters a new chapter. The Schroeder Family Explorium announced this morning it has acquired the annual Joplin Turkey Trot. presented by Freeman Health System. The event will still feature a 5K and 1 mile fun run on Thanksgiving morning, but it will now serve as a fundraiser for the Explorium's STEAM education programs. Organizers say proceeds will help fund hands-on exhibits, outreach, and scholarships.
In the past years, it started down in front of City Hall, but because we've now taken it on as our signature event, we're going to start it here in front of the Explorium because we can engage those families, get them maybe inside, checking out some of the exhibits and playing with us before they run.
Registration opens in July with the race set for November 27th, starting and ending at 300 South Main in downtown Joplin. Well, coming up, strategy in the Situation Room.
President Trump holding strategic meetings in the Situation Room as he weighs whether to send U.S. fighters into Iran. I'm Rebecca Castor in Washington with the latest just ahead.
But up first, this Friday is the longest day of the year. Find out how spending time in nature can boost your health and save you hundreds on medical bills. Well, this Friday marks the summer solstice, the longest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. Both health and environmental experts recommend folks take advantage of all the extra daylight by immersing themselves in nature. With new research showing how time outdoors can do wonders not just for your wellness, but also for your wallet. Fox News' Ted Linder takes a closer look.
Frugal folks looking to stretch their dollars may want to head for the hills. While previous research has shed light on the positive health effects of spending time outdoors, a new study finds being close to nature can save you hundreds on healthcare costs.
We've just completed a study with over 5 million people with one of the largest healthcare insurers in the whole country, Kaiser Permanente.
Matt Browning, associate professor at Clemson University, explains.
We found that people who live closer to nature are less likely to spend more on healthcare, and that actually translates to dollars and cents, not just for people, but for employers and for the entire country. That economic benefit we found is nearly $400 per person per year. When we spend time outdoors, we're less likely to get sick. Our immune function is better, we are happier, we're more likely to talk to people and feel trusting and bond with other people, and we're more likely to be physically active. And all of these things lead to a higher quality of life and less risk of many different chronic diseases.
And there's many ways to capitalize on the benefits.
People can benefit from spending time in nature just by looking at it, or just hearing it, or doing something much more immersive, like going for a hike in a forest with birds calling and waterfalls.
But the nature you immerse yourself in doesn't always have to be natural to be effective. Professor Browning says virtual reality headsets can transport you to different landscapes and provide similar positive effects. Ted Lindner, Fox News.
Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, when can you legally smash a car windshield to save a child or a pet? Find out the rules you need to know.
We are tracking showers and thunderstorms working into the region. It's going to be a loud night for sure as we get a couple bands of showers and thunderstorms. Most of these have been out across south central, southeastern Kansas over the past several hours. We have a leading complex dropping south and east, and then a second complex kind of filling in behind it farther toward the west, and both of those will skirt through at least portions of the four-state area. This big complex will kind of dive through northeastern Oklahoma, so it's going to affect Nowata, Craig, maybe parts of Ottawa County, Delaware County, and then parts of McDonald and Benton County. Then the second batch toward the west, that will start to drive in and affect a lot bigger areas. But right now you can see a nice little hail core just to the west of Bartlesville, and this is tracking south and east fairly slow at about 30 to about 35 miles per hour, but thunderstorms kind of picking up along and west of that I-35 corridor, and again that's going to drive through later on tonight. Let me take you through time. Showers, thunderstorms kind of working through southeastern Kansas over the next couple hours, and then here's that back band that's going to push in. This is going to be late, midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. we may have severe weather in our far eastern counties until maybe 3 o'clock. The main threat tonight is going to be gusty winds. We are going to get some hail. The threat is higher for winds of 60 upwards to 70, maybe 75 miles per hour. Tornado threat is low. It's not non-existent, but it is low across the region. Then showers and thunderstorms sticking around behind it, so it's going to be a loud night. How much rain could we get? We got to see where those heavier bands set up, but a lot of areas, quarter, half an inch, maybe upwards to an inch, some isolated 2 or 3 inch amounts with some of those bigger storms. Looks good right now. Nice shot. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. We are looking at downtown Joplin off toward the north and to the east. This is all caused by an upper level wave which is pushing through, and behind it we're still going to get some hit miss storms on Wednesday. I think we'll start with some scattered storms. Once we get into the afternoon, here's the noon hour, we are going to have some scattered thunderstorms kind of drifting through the region with our cold front, but it's not going to be widespread, but they are going to be out there, and the ones that do pop up will have the potential to be low grade severe across the region. Once those start to work out, tomorrow night looks good. Thursday looks great. Sunny skies, high temps 86, 87 degrees. Day planner for you on your Wednesday, 68 to start, 73 by noon. Let's go with a high temp right around 82 degrees. 86 on Thursday, and then the 90s roll in. Partly sunny skies, heating up. Pretty good weekend. 92 Saturday, 91 on Sunday. Hit and miss storms. Very summer-like for us next week.
Feels like it's going to be pretty hot this weekend, too.
It's going to get that way.
All right. Thank you, Doug. And we are getting our first real taste of summer heat and humidity this weekend, like Doug just said. And experts want to remind everyone that children and hot cars never mix. Nick Kelly has more.
Around 11 this morning, temperatures in Springfield were in the lower 80s. My news car's interior temperature sat at 78 degrees. After sitting for 12 minutes with the windows up, the thermometer pushed into the lower 90s. No surprise to Luke Spain with Cox Health.
It acts like an oven. The greenhouse effect in the vehicle there, where the heat just gets trapped in there and the sun's coming in and the heat's not getting back out. And so the temperatures just skyrocket so quickly in those vehicles.
In 90-degree heat, a car's interior warms to 119 degrees in 20 minutes. Numbers near 100 can make that happen in just 10 minutes. Whether your car's windows are up or down, sitting in the shade or open sun, they will still heat up to dangerous levels, leaving children at a higher risk for heat exhaustion and stroke.
Children overheat somewhere between 3 to 5 times faster than adult chemistry. As an adult, our bodies are a bit more acclimated and a little bit more trained to be able to handle those. For a child, they're so much smaller and they just don't have that physical ability, so it doesn't take much.
Parents can take steps to prevent a tragedy. A parked car must be locked with keys stored out of reach from children. Have the kids come inside with you even if you're running a short errand. And even if you're good at double-checking the back seat while getting out of a vehicle, don't be afraid to put something else important back there as a reminder.
Whether it's your purse, your phone, a shoe, and, no judgment, because parents have a lot going on. It's just a reminder to ensure that your kids are safe.
While recent laws and statutes may give some leeway to help people in good faith get kids out of locked cars, experts encouraging calling 911 for guidance right away.
If you as a citizen take actions beyond calling 911, you could still face charges for property damage.
Call 911 immediately, because they will walk you through what to do. They will give you the confidence and the guidance.
Well, parents can help keep their youngsters safe by doing 2 other things. 1, teach them how to unlock the doors from the inside. Plus, if they ever get into trouble, teach them to honk the horn steadily or repeatedly to get attention of others nearby to help out. Well, coming up, senior scam protection.
Congress is taking on scammers targeting Grandma and Grandpa. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I've got the details coming up.
Have you been the victim of an internet scam? More and more of us are becoming targets, and now Congress wants to do something about it. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively has more from Washington.
The amount of fraud perpetrated against older Americans is overwhelming.
We all know an elderly friend or relative who has fallen victim to an online scam. Now those scams are getting more sophisticated, and lawmakers on Capitol Hill want to help senior citizens protect their life savings. On Tuesday, the Senate Judiciary Committee held a hearing into how to stop international crime networks from targeting older Americans, and for some, the issue was personal.
It happened to my wife. She got a call from our grandson, and she was supposed to send money quickly because he'd been in an auto accident. It was a scam.
Lawmakers are zeroing in on closing loopholes that often allow scammers to get away and make it harder for folks to recover their stolen money.
Many victims go to local authorities only to be told there's no crime because they gave their money away. Victims feel abandoned, penniless, ashamed, and taxed heavily.
Another problem, right now anti-fraud efforts are spread across 13 different departments with no centralized leadership.
There's no information gathering. There's no organizational structure.
Advocates are pleading with lawmakers to help them crack down on scammers, saying big changes in federal law are needed to protect some of the most vulnerable Americans.
We need a federal coordinated response under your leadership to make this happen.
The FBI says almost $5 billion was stolen from elderly people through fraud last year, up 43% from 2023. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Up next, Bright Futures. Joplin turns 15, celebrating years of helping kids with food, clothing, and shelter. We'll take you to the party. Bright Futures Joplin celebrates its 15th birthday today with a ribbon cutting. The event took place at Joplin School's Memorial Education Center in the recently renovated cafeteria. For the past 15 years, Bright Futures Joplin has helped students in need by providing clothing, food, and shelter so Joplin kids can focus on learning. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Deadly flash flooding devastates West Virginia. Recovery begins as the search continues for missing residents. And President Trump urges Iran to surrender as the country's conflict with Israel escalates.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. West Virginia residents are grappling with loss of life after torrential rain caused deadly flash flooding over the weekend. They're now beginning the cleanup process. Fox News' Asher Red has more from Fairmont, West Virginia.
The death toll from the flash flooding in West Virginia has now risen to 7, and the search for 2 missing people continues as recovery efforts get underway.
We're just trying to see what's salvageable and what's not, and just start the rebuilding process.
Officials say part of West Virginia got up to 4 inches of rain within just 30 minutes on Saturday night. Then the region was slammed with more storms Sunday night, all made worse by the region's mountainous terrain.
We never dreamed, and neither have any of my neighbors, that we would see anything like this. It came up very, very fast.
It's just a really surreal feeling and shocking how just within minutes it was just complete disaster.
High rushing water took down an apartment building Sunday. Residents had only minutes to evacuate, and fortunately everyone made it out safely before its collapse. West Virginia's governor says over 60 residences, 25 businesses, and 30 routes have been impacted. He says the state is working with FEMA as local crews step up to task.
We've been talking with FEMA. They're working closely with our office.
It's going to take a lot of cleaning supplies and a lot of support from the locals. I'd say it'd take a good month to get everything cleaned up and back in tip-top shape.
Meantime, San Antonio officials have now launched an official investigation into the flooding caused by the same storm system last week that killed 13 people. The flood risk for West Virginia isn't over yet, as forecasters are predicting more rain and thunderstorms throughout the week. In Fairmont, West Virginia, Asher Red, Fox News.
After targeted shootings of lawmakers in Minnesota, members of Congress are calling for increased security. Capitol Police briefed senators on a sharp rise in political violence and credible threats, which have more than doubled over the past decade. Leaders from both parties agree action is needed despite concerns over the cost. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer emphasized the danger of reckless rhetoric fueling this violence, while others stressed the challenges of protecting so many officials. With nearly 10,000 threats reported last year, Capitol Hill is on high alert. President Donald Trump is urging Iran to surrender unconditionally as its conflict with Israel continues for a 5th day. The president returned to Washington this morning, leaving the G7 summit in Canada early to consult with his national security team. As Fox's Rebecca Castor reports, he's signaling the U.S. may get involved.
Fighter jets taking off to deliver more airstrikes to Iran as Israel continues its relentless campaign to take out their nuclear sites.
They're not going to have a nuclear weapon.
President Trump is clear on that, but he now has to decide if the U.S. should help Israel finish the job. The Pentagon is moving military assets to the Middle East to be on standby for any defensive or offensive action.
We've had this on our target list for years. So our people, our intelligence people, and our air power people know exactly what they're doing if the president makes the decision.
President Trump posted online, "We now have complete and total control of the skies over Iran, and that the supreme leader is an easy target, but is safe for now." Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, even Republicans are divided over how involved the U.S. should get.
If the president determines that to end this once and for all, a preemptive strike on Fordo and with bunker bombs, I'd be very supportive of that.
I'm hoping the president will not get involved with the war. I think if the United States actively bombs Tehran, the possibility of negotiation goes out the window.
Iran's military is warning civilians to evacuate Haifa and Tel Aviv immediately. But for now, the State Department would not confirm if it's helping Americans get out of Israel. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast and later a labor of love.
Southeast Kansas is seeing a need for more foster families. In Pittsburgh, one couple is celebrating more than 4 decades of helping children in need. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
Well, we are tracking showers and thunderstorms across the region. Severe threat continues as we go through the overnight hours. You can see the orange box just popped up in southwest Missouri. That is a new severe thunderstorm watch as the severe thunderstorms continue to work east. Overall tornado threat, I think, is fairly low, but anytime you have severe thunderstorms, you at least have a low severe or tornado threat. But I think most of these are going to be hail and wind as we go through the overnight hours. But of course, as we know, wind can do a lot of damage. Zooming in, so here's our new severe thunderstorm watch. So it includes our counties in Kansas and then all of southwestern parts of Missouri. We'll see what pops out across northeast Oklahoma. Because they aren't included in this, they may pop up in an additional tornado watch. Look at this big cluster working through Washington County, getting into western parts of Nowata County. So we have severe thunderstorm warnings for winds at 60, quarter-size hail. This storm is moving east-southeast, pretty slow actually, at about 35. But because we're starting to get this bowing structure right in here, it looks like a bow and arrow. The winds are coming in behind it pretty fast. And what that's going to do is start to speed that storm up. I actually think it's going to take more of an easterly turn, so it's going to affect Ottawa County, Delaware County, and then eventually into Newton and McDonald counties later on tonight. Now behind it, here's our second complex. This is going to come together, also become a bigger bowing structure, and drive through the region anywhere from 11 p.m. to about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on that as well. So thunderstorms obviously are going to be increasing. Here's that back band. Here's 12:30 in the morning. Most likely severe winds, 60, 70, maybe 75 as these push through. Again, overall tornado threat is low, but still something we got to keep our eyes on. This will finally push out and we'll see our tornado threat kind of drop, or severe threat drop, after about 3 o'clock in the morning, but we're still going to have scattered showers and thunderstorms kind of sticking around the region. How much rain could we get? We'll have to see where those heavier bands really kind of line up as we go through the next several hours. But I'd say on average, quarter, half an inch, upwards to an inch. With the heavier storms, we'll get some isolated heavier amounts. Looks okay right now. Great shot. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, Tower Cam. This whole complex is caused by an upper level wave which is going to push through. So once it gets through, we get the thunderstorms through the region. Then by Wednesday, we are going to have some hit and miss storms through the morning along and south of I-44. But even during the afternoon, as the true cold front slides in, we could get some scattered thunderstorms, and some of those could be strong to low-grade severe, but not near as widespread as what we are going to see tonight. 82 on your Wednesday, 86 Thursday, 91 on Friday, lower 90s sticking around as we go into the weekend.
I know, it's going to be a hot weekend, that's for sure.
It is, yeah.
We'll be glad we got a little moisture in the ground by the weekend.
I agree.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. It's called the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Well, the Columbus Public Library held a groovy day for some area kiddos today. As KOAM photojournalist Ty Park shows us, the historic library invited the kids to make tie-dye shirts.
So put a lot on there. You got to put a lot on there. You got to.
During the summer, there's a lot of kids that don't have a lot of activities. There are different programs that are available for them, but not all of them can participate. This is free to all of the children in the area. Just give them something to do, and it's something that they can do even after this event. It's a pretty simple process once they learn that. It's available to them at all times.
If you don't care if your hands get colored, most people don't seem to. And I'm probably going to help you because your mom will shoot me.
Lauren, our librarian, she plans all of the activities, and then different people on the board and different community people come and help do the activities. So this was selected by our librarian.
Add some over here next, and then what? Just add some purple in it. Okay.
Just to have fun. It's just a fun process, and give them a little color theory. If they get colors mixed together, you know, you have your primary colors, you can make secondary colors and intermediate colors. So it's a learning experience and just learning the process, and again, just to have fun. So if you'll follow the Columbus Public Library on Facebook, there's all kinds of events year-round that the library does here.
Well, first the kids soaked their white shirts in wood ash to help the color stick, and then they got to apply the color. Now, one organizer said today's event is just one more way the library tries to bring fun and free events to the area kids. Still ahead, 17 of our local baseball players receive all-state honors in Missouri. And the Joplin Outlaws hit the road to face the top team in the Mid-America League. John Dales has those stories and more up next in sports.
Royals play. The Missouri Baseball Coaches Association releases its all-state teams for spring 2025 season earlier this week, and they feature 17 of our local players. We'll start in Class 2. Trayton Richard from Jasper High School is on the first team All-State as a designated hitter, and he'll be back for next year as a senior. A couple of New Heights Cougars make the list as well. Each just graduated this spring. That's pitcher Smokey Zell and infielder Jace Walker. He will be playing baseball at Evangel University next year. In Class 3, only one of our local players receive all-state honors. That is Grady Bentley as a designated hitter. He just finished his junior year at Diamond High School. Class 4 features quite a few of our local athletes. Aurora infielder Sean Creasy is the lone first-teamer after a stellar sophomore season with the Hound Dogs. The second team has a couple of teammates from Seneca. Pitcher Jagger Wilson, designated hitter Drew Sherwood, who will both be back with the Indians next year. Nevada infielder Caden Klump is also on the second team All-State. And three more receive honorable mentions. Those are East Newton infielder Braden Van Loo, Monette outfielder Aiden Clapper, and Aurora outfielder Memphis Mooneyham. He was just a freshman this spring. Class 5, Webb City grad and future Missouri Southern Lion Andrew Young is on the first team All-State as an outfielder. How about this from Carl Junction? 3 Bulldogs receive All-State honors. Brody Pant is on the second team as an infielder. Then Cooper Vedix and Deacon Endicott both get honorable mentions as designated hitters. All three of them were juniors this year, so they'll be back at CJ next season. Closing things out with Class 6, Joplin Rising senior Brecken Green is on the first team as a pitcher. Neosho Wildcat Brody Crane makes the second team as a pitcher as well. Both of them just wrapped up their junior years this spring. They'll be back as seniors next year. In summer collegiate baseball, the Nevada Griffins and Joplin Outlaws are each in action tonight. Both of them on the road. Outlaws beat the Shadow Cats 10-0 in Joplin on Sunday night, and tonight they're on the brink of another impressive victory, 9-1. This one down in Sherman, Texas. As we come on the air, that's the score, 9-1 in the 7th. And keep in mind, if this score holds, Sherman will have just 3 losses on the year, and 2 of them are against the Outlaws. In the Mink League, the Griffins are in danger of losing their 2nd in a row. They trail the Chillicothe Mudcats 8-4 in the top of the 9th inning. And there are just 5 teams remaining at the College World Series in Omaha. By the end of the night, that number drops down to 4, and it certainly looks like Arkansas will be one of those last 4 teams standing. The Razorbacks lead UCLA 7-1 in the top of the 9th inning. Now, if this score and this result holds, Arkansas will advance to face LSU tomorrow evening. That's the team who beat the Hogs in their tournament opener back on Saturday. And in Major League Baseball, the Cardinals get a much-needed victory in Chicago, 12-2 over the White Sox. The Royals, they do the same. They take down the Rangers 6-1 on the road. And surprisingly, this marks the first time that both the Royals and Cardinals win on the same day since May 31st. Both of them have kind of gotten into a slump right now, but that's the thing about baseball. It's a long season, 162 games. You can afford to go through some rough patches if you turn things around.
It's already June 17th, and not to have like a, win-win together, that's surprising.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't even think about that. All right, thanks, John. We're back with more news after this. For the past 42 years, one Pittsburgh couple has opened their home to foster children. As they now step back, the need for foster families in Southeast Kansas remains. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more on how an area nonprofit hopes this couple's legacy can help inspire a new generation of foster parents.
On any given day, there are more than 5,000 children in the foster care system in Kansas. For one Pittsburgh couple, they've spent the last 42 years trying to be there for these children during their time of need.
We argue over it. Probably somewhere around, we'll say, between 300 and 400, something like that.
Since the Morys opened their door 4 decades ago, they've welcomed in children from infants to teens. They may stay with them for a single night or for months.
I don't think we ever questioned it once we started. I mean, it was just kind of like
we adopted, so we pretty well knew what we were getting into.
But the couple says you need to feel the calling to do it.
It's not a job. If you're not called to do it, it'll be really tough.
According to the Kansas Department for Children and Families, in Southeast Kansas this past year, there was an average of 632 children placed and living outside of their homes each month. More than 47% of those children were placed in a foster home. The Family Initiative, known as TFI, is a nonprofit that works with and provides resources for area foster families. Staff say they see a need for more foster families like the Morys in Southeast Kansas for area children entering the system.
We want to try to help keep the kids local, and so that way they can maintain, as they were saying, like within their schools, within their resources and everything that they do know.
TFI staff say the Morys embody what foster parents should be and act as mentors for the new generations of foster parents. Now the Morys have built a legacy of having one of the biggest families in the 4 states.
We're still mom to a lot of them, or I am, and they'll say, "Oh, how's Dad?" Whatever, and then their kids will go, "Well, who's that?" "That's Grandma," and so, and so somebody asked how many grandkids I had, and I said, "Well, I'm not really sure because I have a lot of kids that call me Grandma."
The Morys foster children can be found all across the country with a variety of careers, some even becoming foster parents themselves. But they say the importance of foster parents become clear when they see children break the cycle.
The ones that I think are the most successful are the ones that have kept their kids and raised a family from where they came from.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The Morys say it isn't hard to get started with the foster parent process. If you're interested in becoming a foster parent yourself, you can learn more about how to get started on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, Somebody Feed Phil is back with new adventures on Netflix. We've got your Season 8 preview up next. The globe-trotting travels of Somebody Feed Phil returns with Season 8 tomorrow. We caught up with host Phil Rosenthal to talk about what's coming up, the incredible cuisines he tries, and how the heart of the show is about bringing people together. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
You want to zobble the bone?
Foodie Phil Rosenthal hits the road again for Season 8 of Netflix's Somebody Feed Phil, visiting Amsterdam, Sydney, Boston, and more.
Do you have a giant wish list?
Yes, I do. And I've been doing this now for 8 seasons, so I've gotten to hit a lot of the places on that wish list. There's still many, many places I haven't been yet, and I want to hit them all.
He tries so much cuisine, his best of list constantly changes.
People say, you just said this is your favorite. How can that be? Because it's my favorite because I'm having it right now. It's so good that it makes me forget the other favorite that I loved.
How much do you eat, like in one day in these places?
I try to not finish anything.
Right.
Sometimes it's really hard because it's really good. But like in the Basque Country, for example, I went to one of arguably the best restaurants in the world called Etxebarri. Every single thing is made by one guy over an open fire. And I ate every bite of everything because I knew this was a once in a lifetime thing.
Of
course.
course.
Most of the time I don't. This leaves my belly open to receive more tastes.
Look at me now, baby. Rosenthal says the heart of the show is bringing people together.
I always say food is the great connector. And then for me, laughs are the cement.
So join Phil for another journey and another season of that catchy theme song.
What do you now understand about pasta, pork, chicken, and lamb?
A lot more than when I started. And that's what you can do. I'm not an expert, but I am a curious tourist. And it's important to be a curious tourist.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And now I'm officially hungry. And that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of Tai, an Asian elephant, celebrating his 60th birthday at the Houston Zoo. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.